The phone rings at 3:14 a.m. You don't need to look at the screen. The vibration against the nightstand has a rhythm that feels intimately, terrifyingly familiar. When you slide the green icon and press the receiver to your ear, the voice on the other end is yours. Tired, gravelly, and shaking with the kind of frantic energy that only comes from staring into an abyss. This is the parallax call. And if you're hearing it, your reality is no longer the only one in the room. The Large Hadron Collider has been deactivated, and you are being contacted by another version of yourself whose true nature is unknown. A version from a failed timeline, a survivor of a world that didn't make it, a doomsday messenger? Why would you ever contact yourself if not to deliver bad news? Rule number 1 of the survival guide is simple. Do not mistake their familiarity for safety. They are the ghost of a future you haven't lived yet. And they are calling because they are desperate. They want to save you, or perhaps they want to replace you. And in the dark, the difference between those two intentions is thin enough to cut your throat. The first thing you must do is execute the anchor test. Yes, the anchor test is a staple of any survival guide through alternate realities. Ask them something only you could know, but make it a variable, a memory that is still unwritten for you but hardened in stone for them. If they hesitate, or if their version of your childhood home has a different color front door, you are talking to a parasite. Hang up. If they pass, you have a choice to make. Be a pawn or be a scavenger. They will try to lure you into the redo scenario. They will whisper about the promotion you didn't get or the person you shouldn't have kissed, pleading with you to undo those choices to avert their specific apocalypse. This is a trap. The butterfly effect is not a myth. It is a guillotine. By fixing their mistakes, you are guaranteed to trigger a catastrophe unique to your own timeline. Their misery is the only compass you have. Treat it like a map of minefields. Do not go where they went, and for the love of everything you hold dear, do not meet them at the location they suggest. If they tell you to stay, move. If they tell you to run, hide. They are trying to choreograph your life to match their own ending. There are 3 possibilities for why they are reaching out. The first is experimentation. They are using your life as a grand simulation to map the outcomes of every possible reality. The second is predation. They are looking to sacrifice your future to fix their own broken timeline. But there is a third, perhaps even more terrifying possibility. They are running out of time. They aren't trying to study you or trade with you. They are trying to anchor themselves. Your reality is a stable harbor, and their world is currently dissolving into the void. They are looking for a host. By keeping you on the line, they are weaving a psychic tether, trying to anchor their failing consciousness into your healthy timeline. If they succeed, they don't just take your life. They overwrite your existence, effectively pruning you from your own history like a bad branch. That brings us to the ultimate danger of the parasite theory: mental overcrowding. If you leave the line open too long, they don't just drain your resources, they take root. What people in our world mistake for sudden shifts in character or multiple personalities is not a clinical diagnosis. It is an invasion. It is the direct result of too many failed versions of you successfully tethering to a single, stable host. Once an echo drops its anchor into your timeline, they take up residence in the architecture of your mind. They aren't dormant, they are desperate. You end up with half a dozen alternate selves trapped in one consciousness, fighting tooth and nail for the limelight, clawing at the steering wheel of your life whenever you show a moment of weakness. One wants to run, another wants to build a bunker, and a third just wants to burn it all down because they miss the taste of ash from their own failed world. You become a haunted house where every ghost is just another version of yourself that refused to die quietly. In the cold calculus of alternate realities, there is no regard for human life. However, there is an upside to this cosmic intrusion. You are sitting on a gold mine of catastrophic experience. While they try to guide you, you must interrogate them. Strip them of every bit of data they have. Demand the outcome of every risk they took, the result of every person they trusted, and the secrets of the ventures that buried their world. Don't be their partner. Be their auditor. They are the wreckage of a failed experiment, but their debris can build your fortress. Dig into the asset divergence. Ask about the technologies, the missed opportunities, or the specific shifts that occurred in their timeline. Maybe in their world, a certain patent was never filed, or a company collapsed overnight. That is your head start. But keep your guard up. They will notice you're mining them for value and will likely try to turn the tables by suggesting collaborations. If they try to sell you a vision, it's because they're looking for a vessel to inhabit. Treat their advice like a stock tip from a man standing on a burning bridge. The biggest danger is empathy. When you hear that voice, your voice,
Hello?
it is easy to believe they are your only ally. It is a siren song designed to pull you into their orbit of failure. Remember that they are a cautionary tale, not a savior. They will play on your insecurities, knowing exactly which buttons to press because they've felt your exact doubts. If they start crying, or if they start recounting a moment of profound, shared grief, recognize it for what it is: a tactical maneuver. They are building an emotional bridge to pull you across into their terminal state. Do not offer comfort. Keep the conversation sterile. You are the doctor, and they are the terminal patient. You want the charts, the history, and the diagnosis. You don't need the patient's tears. Once you have extracted every password, every warning, and every piece of foresight they can offer, you must sever the line. Do not say goodbye. If they plead for more time or threaten that you are doomed without them, laugh. You are the architect of this reality. They are merely the debris. Hang up, throw the SIM card into a storm drain, and change your number. Do not linger by the phone, and for 48 hours, stay away from the locations they discussed. You have been visited by an echo of a ghost, and you believe you have survived. But don't breathe easy yet. The tragedy of the parallax call isn't the ghost on the other end. It's the fact that you are never truly safe from a single, catastrophic mistake. You think you've scrubbed your life clean, that you're back to the business of living, but the fear remains. It's a slow-growing rot. Every time you stumble, every time you make a choice that leaves you lying awake in the dark, you'll find yourself wondering if this was the decision that finally broke your timeline. You'll start to look at your life not as a journey, but as a series of ticking time bombs, waiting for the one that finally levels your world. And then, one night, the weight of it becomes too much. You're sitting in the dark at 3:13 a.m., the room silent, the air heavy with the scent of a life you can no longer recognize. You aren't the survivor anymore. You are the architect of your own ruin. You pick up the phone, your fingers trembling as you dial a number you know by heart, a number you never thought you'd be forced to dial. You aren't reaching out to study a data point or to harvest a life. You're desperate. You are the one reaching back through the static, trying to find your past self, hoping against hope that you can warn them, guide them, or force them to fix the mistakes that led you here. You press the call button, listening to the hollow, rhythmic tone that bridges the gap between realities. You wait for the click. You wait for the familiar, startled breath of your past self. But there is a final possibility. They might just let it ring. Maybe your past self has finally learned the lessons you failed to teach them. Maybe they've internalized every word of this guide. As the phone rings in the silence of their room, they look at the screen, recognize the number they know by heart, and they choose, with cold, calculated precision, to let it go to voicemail. The phone goes dead. The line disconnects. The cycle stops forever, not because you saved your world, but because you were finally ignored. Your reality dissolves into the void, but for the first time in an eternity, the chain is broken. You are the last of the echoes, and you finally go quiet, leaving them free to build a future you will never be a part of. Until the phone rings again at 3:13 a.m.